thoughts on like putting that in the new software? Do you think like it should be a clean start when you start with software and going forward, or should you backload that? What are your thoughts on that?
I Great question. So first of all, if you have things on Excel, then that makes uploading pretty simple, generally speaking. I mean, you may lose some data points, you may have to shift, your columns and such, but it is relatively simple to get it onboarded into a software. If you have tons of information on pads, I mean that's a tough one, right? I mean, you could always upload it, but that's going to be a huge just time lift, of course, because it'll be very manual in terms of getting that in. Um, so also just to clarify, I don't mean to say you should never use pads. You can use pads to write down notes to remind yourself of how to log or what to follow up with on a software later in that day. I just don't think you should rely on pads exclusively.
Yeah, no, I would say you shouldn't at all. I don't. I think in
Right.
nowadays and age, like there's so much better stuff, and as you
Yeah,
grow a business, like it's the only way to continue to track stuff, like and
correct. Yeah.
have that data. Because if everybody has their own pads or their own, like if nothing's going into something that's centrally located for the
Yeah,
company, like nobody really knows what exactly Johnny's saying to Mary or Sam's
exactly.
saying to Ken.
On that point, to kind of take a step back from this, overarching data element, I want to touch on what you just said in terms of if you have your teams writing things down or noting things in Excel in their siloed environments, either way, right? Siloed, regardless if it's handwriting or if it's Excel files, then what happens if, I don't know, they get sick, they go on vacation, maternity leave, they move to another country, whatever it may be, they're not on the project, right? Long story short, there. How are you managing that? What happens? How do you pick up where they left off? How do you even know where they left off, right? You don't, and you can't. So in centralizing information, not only does it support this kind of future thought of data and AI and such, but it also just literally helps you immediately. And it gives you kind of a defense mechanism in terms of protecting your projects in case something happens to someone or somebody, just moves or leaves, whatever.
Hmm.